Imagine playing only the 9th inning of a baseball game. Imagine starting at the 2-minute warning of a football game. Imagine beginning with the final round of a boxing match. Or only running the last 50 laps of a 500-mile race. That's what we have today, a 20-mile, 50-lap shootout at the 17th annual Busch Clash from the Daytona International Speedway.
The steel gray look that you want for a racetrack 2.5 miles in length is coming up here, and it looks like we're not too far from the start, but there will be a slight delay before we get to the start of this $340,000 17th annual Busch Clash. A dash for cash and glory, Ned Jarrett. That's what it gets down to here.
That's really what it gets down to, Ken. There are no points involved in this race, but it's a very important race for the teams and the drivers that are in it, because all of them will be hoping to be in the Daytona 500 a week from today, and they can get a lot of experience out there with the other cars on the racetrack, particularly those that are running Chevrolets this year. They have a brand new Monte Carlo. Don't know what it's going to do in traffic. This will be a good learning experience, plus the fact there are 6 drivers in this field today who are rookies in the Busch Clash. Now, you would think normally this would not be a good race for a rookie, but those drivers that are there today can take heart in the fact that Jeff Gordon did win it last year as a rookie, so should be interesting.
Now, they drew for positions. That's the way they get the format started here in this race. Had a drawing a couple of days ago. One guy that has won it back in '81, has 11 starts, passed 7 cars, which is a record in the lead lap, was not in the drawing this time. We consider him one of our best experts. Darrell Waltrip, nice to have you along.
I can't help but notice, you're talking about rookies, I couldn't help but notice all the rookies standing around kind of smiling. Da-da-da-da-da. Looks like they're going to have a fun day. The veterans are standing around with that scowl on their face like, you boys don't know what you're in for. So it's a fun race to some degree. Some guys take it more serious than others, but it's neat that the rookies are in here, and they have had some time on the racetrack. These cars have been on the track since Thursday, running together, practicing, drafting each other. So I think it's going to be a better race than we think it's going to be.
Let's get the rules, the format for the event. Here's Mike Joy.
Thanks, Ken. It's a little raw down here, but it is dry. The rules are as simple as the race is short. To get in this field, you had to win a pole position in 1994, plus 1 wild card driver, and the pole winningest driver from the Busch Series, that's David Green. They'll wave the green flag and race just 10 laps. Caution laps do not count. Then a mandatory caution flag at 10 laps. The drivers will come to pit lane and perform any service they normally would in a Winston Cup race. But then's the kicker. They will invert the field. The 10th lap leader goes all the way to the back. They'll drop the flag again and run 10 more laps, and the winner goes to victory lane.
Here you see Jeff Gordon going over to take a look at that car number 24 before he settles down and tries to replicate what he did a year ago when he blew by the field. With an inverted field to start the second half of the Busch Clash, the question always remains, how do you come from the back of the pack to win?
I don't know if you can have any strategy if you're starting that far back. Just stand on the gas. Somebody gets in your way, knock them out of the way, because you won't have time to pass that many cars in only 10 laps.
First thing you got to do, you got to pass them in a hurry. 10 laps is not very long at Daytona. Just I think tell yourself don't crack the throttle.
It's hard. It can be done. I guess Earnhardt done it one year. You just have to catch a good seam with a couple cars racing, and you hope it's a gap where you can dive in and just wiggle through them.
I'd rather maybe finish last in the first one, start first in the last one, and win that, because the trophy is what counts. To be the winner of the Busch Clash is what you're going to remember, not the guy that wins the first segment.
The man in black, Dale Earnhardt's talking to his car owner, Richard Childress, checking out his two-way radio communication. Let me sneak in around the net here for just a second. How about it, champ? Starting on the front row. Good starting spot. How about finishing spot today?
Well, this is really you usually want to start up front, but you invert this thing, you ain't sure what's going to go on that last 10. I'd sort of like to be further to the back maybe, but Richard Childress and I talked about it. We decided to go for it. Jarrett picked us to win. He's up there doing the pit stuff, and we got old good-looking Waltrip up there in the tower with his suit on, and he's looking good. Maybe they can coach me a little bit, tell me which way to go here. We'll be all right.
Well, I'll give you our frequency, but nobody in this crowd's going to race to the rear, are they?
I don't think so. I think you're going to see that 4 and 24 and the 6 car at least coming on up here, and I'm definitely going to try to drag them around here the first 10, see if we can do it again, come from the back.
You say drag them around. Dale, can anybody get away from this pack?
I don't think so. Everybody gets in line. I think it's going to be a race for, staying in line. Getting the racing side by side, the cars can get away from them in front, I think, at this point. I hope it's not the 4 and the 24, and I'm back there side by side with somebody, because they definitely can get away from them.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Orders have been given, and they fire them up. This is it, the start of Speedweeks 95 here at Daytona. Next Sunday, the great American race will come rolling down a little after noon. We hope you'll be here with CBS, and this is such a wonderful way to get the week started with this short driving race with so much at stake for these 16. The rest of the field moving away nicely, and we're getting set to go racing here at Daytona. 31-degree banking, 18 degrees in the tri-oval, and it's always a thrill when they're getting set to go for the first time wheel-to-wheel Winston Cup racing here at Daytona.
The pit road's not real dry, Ken, but it's not going to make a lot of difference because they're not going to use the pit road except under that intermission. The thing that they might ought to have done, though, is cleaned up some of these areas down here off of turn 4 and off of turn 2 back there, because that might get used during this race.
See the field down that back straightaway, and notice all this area that's been paved as you look at Bodine and Earnhardt, the front row. Then just as you get to the chicane area for the sports car race where they ran the Rolex 24 the other day, the grass is back there, but they've made a major change in that back straightaway. We'll be addressing that next week for sure in depth about the changes they've made around this track. There you see Allen and Sachs back there in row number 4. They'll take, what, 2 laps before they turn loose today?
Right. Yeah. They get 1 to go this next time by. I want to say about David Green, I didn't in any way mean that he didn't deserve to be in this race. He's a homeboy, and his daddy will be all over me if I don't. He deserves to be in this race. I hope he wins it.
Comes from Owensboro, Kentucky.
That's right. There's a bunch of us guys from Owensboro, Kentucky.
How does it make you feel to see a kid from Owensboro, Kentucky, who was riding a tricycle when you were driving at Owensboro? What was the name of that? That's the Kentucky International.
No. It was Whitesville. Whitesville, and it makes me feel old.
Okay, a race analysis for you folks as we settle down here about a lap away. 25 miles. All it is, 10 laps in this first segment. Then they'll reverse the field. Ricky Rudd looked like he was pondering maybe waiting for that second half of the race.
He was the first one that was real honest.
Real honest. Yeah. That's what I say. They're going to drop the green flag. You're going to run 2 or 3 laps here, and then as soon as you see what you can do, if you can't do any good, you're going to slow down. And as he said, it'll be a real race for last.
Busch Clash coming live. There's Bodine and Earnhardt ready to square off in the front row. Earnhardt's up in the front row with a different adversary, but one he knows well on the inside for the Daytona 500 next Sunday. What a story we have there. 11 1/1000ths of a second separating the 1993 winner, Dale Jarrett, from Dale Earnhardt, as they'll come down for the start next Sunday afternoon here on CBS. Pace car ready to come in. We're ready to go racing for 1995. Jeff Bodine has an onboard camera. Ricky Rudd, Greg Sachs, and David Green.
I think Earnhardt will probably try to get the jump here on the start.
What makes you think that? That's his style, right?
That's right. He knows this race well enough to know that even if he started early, they wouldn't probably bring him in.
Sterling Marlin jumps out of line. He comes up trying to move alongside Ricky Rudd. It'll take a couple of laps to get to full speed. Back straightaway, 3 wide out of 2.
Yeah, look at Jeff Gordon on the tail of Ted Musgrave, trying to push him on by Bodine on the outside. Those that are behind Bodine are at the disadvantage right now.
Yeah, I expect that Gordon will hook up with Earnhardt, and they will be long gone.
Musgrave stays in it. Jack Roush car.
Whoa, we got
into the wall. Hard hit on Greg Sachs, car number 40. Caution coming out front and gone.
He and Mark Martin tangled, and Mark is spinning around a little farther down the track. Wow.
Caution out.
He did hit the wall hard, but fortunately he's apparently okay. He's already unbuckled his safety net. That's one of the things they're told in the drivers meeting. If you're okay, unbuckle that safety net so the safety crew will know that, and then if there are other drivers involved in the accident, then they could go to them.
What started?
Greg Sachs walking away.
His first ride in this car.
Richard Brooks, Felix Abetta's car, and there's the number 6 Mark Martin right behind the wall, and you can see the rear fender bent up on that.
I really felt Mark had a chance to run with Earnhardt and Gordon. He looked good in practice, and I thought he might have had a chance to run with him.
Here's Mike Joy.
Ken Schrader's a two-time winner of the Clash. You saw that in-car replay and said what?
I've been there, done that.
And it's
Seen
not a
that
good
stuff
feeling.
before. No, Greg took a heck of a hit there. Glad to see he's okay.
This is a tough race because everybody needs to get in the front in a hurry because you may not get a second chance.
Well, you need to get there quick, but, you know, a lot of stuff happens in the front. You need to be lucky if you can get through it sometimes. But when they invert it, it's a whole other deal in the second half.
Kenny's not just a spectator. He owns the car David Green is driving in the Clash and has a real keen interest in what happens here. Ken, let's show you this crash again. Give us your idea what happened here.
It's hard to see the way it is, but it looks like maybe Mark was awful low. Maybe he had part of the car in the apron and had to get back up, and Greg was at his right rear quarter panel and turned both of them. Yeah, Mark was out of room down there.
The banking's flat, or 31 degrees. The apron is flat. How tough is that transition if you catch one wheel down there?
That's about how you usually make it. That's a normal transition.
And a tough break for those two drivers. Ken?
Kenny?
Which has really set this thing up now for, here's Earnhardt and Gordon, and I think they're really going to go now, and Sterling's going to drop right down there with
Well, look at Sterling pulling out already, trying to find a hole on the outside as they come down, and he gets trapped. Musgrave didn't come up that quickly, and Marlin trying to find a way out of that box.
And he still hasn't found her. He went high, he went low, and he just couldn't find a way.
Now he's there. Comes around Bodine. Here comes Jeff White back after him.
I'm impressed with Ted Musgrave. Now, he's been able to hang right there in the other Jack Roush car. He's been hanging right there with Earnhardt and Gordon, and he looks like he's racing.
Earnhardt, who led the opening lap, first time he's ever done that in a Busch Clash, stays out in front. Here's Jeff Gordon in second. Franklin, Wisconsin's Musgrave maintaining third.
And these cars running side by side for fourth are beginning to lose a little bit of distance. That happens on these restrictor plate tracks. If you run side by side, those running single file are going to be able to pull away a little bit if you aren't careful.
Yeah, they don't do it immediately, Ned, but they get the momentum going, and they will ease on away from the other guys if they don't do something here pretty quick. But do something, there's nothing you can really do. You can't hold your hand up and say, hey, I want to get over there for a little while, please.
Ricky Rudd in traffic. Jimmy Spencer up there on the right, just in front, Rusty Wallace.
I'm sure that Sterling Marlin right now is probably jumping up and down in the seat, wanting to get free of that crowd, because I think he's got a car that can run with those front cars.
Rudd giving us those pictures from 10th position. Still even across between Bodine and Sterling Marlin for fourth.
Hey, they're staying up there with those running single file better than I thought they would.
Yeah, they are, Ned. That surprises me, too. I thought Earnhardt and Gordon would hook up and just pull away from the other guys.
Boy, they're bouncing all over up there in turn 4. That looks rougher than usual. 3 wide through.
Well, Bodine slowed down, and here the other Bodine is almost in trouble. What a great job Todd Bodine did of not losing that race car.
Headed down on the flat in the grass and got it back.
You know, he's an exciting guy to watch. He does a lot of things with the race car that make you kind of sit up on the edge of your seat, whether you're in the stand or in the car.
Ran a little over 190 miles an hour that last lap.
Number 4, Marlin. Running 2 cars side by side is usually a way to lose here. Those cars in a draft, nose to tail, will pull away. Not this time, and Marlin has closed in on the top 3. Earnhardt and Gordon staying there, and Sterling right with them. Musgrave back to 4th. In 5th, Elliott.
See, normally right now, Ken, they would run this way and probably till the pit stop. But somebody's got to do something if they want to win this segment. And Sterling's already been caught on the outside. He hates to get out there again, but he's going to have to make a move here pretty quick if he's going to win this thing.
Speed picking up, 192.8 the last lap.
Yeah, they're right. You notice how they're right down on that white line. Everybody's car's handling good. It's cool out there right now, and tires are not a factor. This is absolutely the cars at their best.
Here's Rusty Wallace just getting around Ricky Rudd. That's for 8th position.
He tried to follow him for a few laps, and he saw that those others getting away from him, so he decided to pass him, see if he could pull Ricky on up there to him.
Yeah, they're really not a factor in this race right now, and Rudd's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, try to finish dead last.
Halfway in the first half.
See, that's a car owner for you. He says, dollars are dollars, and I want the big ones.
Good thing.
Now, would you do that?
If I had the chance. Maybe that's why I'm not out there.
Earnhardt, Gordon, and Marlin running 1, 2, and 3. Musgrave stays 4th. Bill Elliott in 5th. Jimmy Spencer in 6th.
I think the thing you got to remember is just like even Jeff Gordon himself said, a car in front is going to take all those cars behind Earnhardt to get by him. They're not. One car's not going to pull out and get the job done. Sterling and Jeff are going to have to work together if they're going to beat Dale. 7 cars in this lead draft. Back to Todd Bodine, who made that miraculous save 2 laps back, coming down out of 4. Gordon showing a lot of patience, just waiting here on Earnhardt, the 5-time winner in the Clash, winner of 23 Cup events here at the Daytona Speedway, but never the 500. Wants to change it next week. The guy that beat him, nose to tail in 93, will be right alongside at the start. It's the Dale and Dale show 1 week from today. As much success as he's had here, and that's a lot, he's never won a point-paying race here. That's the thing.
But you know it can be done.
I know it. I know. And I was going to mention this is the 17th annual Busch Clash. This is Dale Earnhardt's 17th Daytona 500. Those 17s were good to ODW. The only problem is he got a big old 3 on the side of his car. And I had a 17 on the side of mine.
All right. Hey, by the way, Darrell qualified well for the Daytona 500 in 9th place.
Golly, I know it. I wish I was out there racing today. These Monte Carlos are good. And I tell you who I really wish was in this race, that 28 car. Because the Ford guys, I can hear them now. I can hear it up here in my headset. They're whining right now. They got 1, 2, 3 in the Chevrolets, and the Fords are lined up behind them. I can hear it coming.
Chevrolet with Earnhardt, Gordon, and Marlin. Musgrave, the first Ford.
Are they beginning to move a little bit here now?
Shuffle now.
Just see what, checking things out a little bit.
Yeah, we got to. It's getting down close to showtime here. Not that we haven't had a good show, but we're getting ready to have a better one.
Will be 1 more lap to go when they come by this time?
Remember, a year ago when Jeff Gordon won it overall, he had Brett Bodine to help him. They got together and they knocked down Ernie Irvin and Dale Earnhardt in the last moments of that race. I guess it was a lap and a half to go when they shot the bolt.
See what you got. Dale's really in the. I think Dale's in the right place because what you got is Sterling and Jeff, and they're going to go right by. They're going to go right by.
Gordon trying to get down, and Earnhardt trying to block him. It opens it up for number 4. Here comes Jeff Gordon storming down the inside, and he's bringing Sterling Marlin along with him. Boy, you talk about full contact stock car racing at over 190. They're dishing it out here, and the 23-year-old looks like he's on his way to win this first segment. Earnhardt up on the outside. Marlin below him at the line. Give it to Gordon, and Sterling Marlin will take second. Back to third falls Dale Earnhardt in his last lap.
Bill made a great move and finished 4th.
Yeah,
that was racing for him.
I tell you what was so bad. I didn't know that was the last lap. I'm thinking he made his move too soon, but it was a great move, and I thought he was probably sitting in the right spot.
Boy, that looked like 1979, the 500 all over again. Woo. Cale and Allison going at it. Great recovery, and Gordon is going to win the first half, and that's going to award him with $25,000 and a chance to start dead last in the second segment that's coming right up. They'll just invert the field, and we'll roll and watch Gordon trying to roll through. Here's Earnhardt up to have a little chat.
Yeah. He said, you know, you've done that to me once before, boy. I don't think I like this. Where's that? Don't show any respect to a 7-time champion. Well, that's a great move, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 10.
Take a look at this pass, folks.
See, Dale comes down, and I think he and Jeff actually hit, and Sterling says maybe I can get them both on the outside.
But he saw he couldn't.
He couldn't. He quickly falls back in line.
And those cars weigh like a leaf at about that point, right there.
Oh yeah, I know just like when the 40 car hit the wall, we didn't really say, wonder if Greg's okay or not. We take for granted he is. That's something we just assume is he okay because of the way the cars are. But they hit that wall hard, and when those little nudges that we talk about, they scare the heck out of you because they move you around a lot.
Here's Mike Joy standing by with Jeff Gordon.
John Collins has the car in the air as Mike Trower and Chad Nowes change the right side tires. Tim Smith has those left side lug nuts undone as Michael Landis and Darren Jolly bring the tires over. 4-tire change, and the tires look pretty good. That's what the tire specialists at the back of the car are checking. The wear is fine in only 10 green flag laps, and they didn't pick up a lot of debris out there. Jeff shut the car off because they have plenty of time to work here with these caution laps not counting. Ray Evernham is on the radio to Jeff talking to him, and he's out in front of the car putting a little tape over the nose. Now that'll improve the aerodynamics, but it may affect the water temperature just a bit. Let's go to David Hobbs.
Well, down in Rusty Wallace's pit, he too had a 4-tire change. Engines off, no rush down here at all. Robin Pendleton, crew chief, talking to Rusty, who, as you know, wasn't running too well in that first half, but of course that'll put him right near the front in the second half, and maybe these 4 new tires will help him. They're going to do a bit of radiator blocking up here. Things running a bit cool, probably. Very cool down here in the pits today and out on the track. Ken.
There you see Waltrip's car, and all of them are going to the tape, blocking them off a little here.
Yeah, what they do is that first segment, they say, how hot was it running? Well, it was running 180. Well, we can step that up a notch and go faster, too.
Take a look at that finish that we just saw out here as the field begins to reorganize for the second half of the event. Altercation on the very first lap of competition. They say that number 3 is running hot.
Yeah, if you look at that water coming
next.
out the overflow, you can see that he's running hot.
Well, yes and no. What they're doing, they're probably putting water in it and cooling it off. That's where the overflow is, and it comes out the back. They're going to cool that bad boy down, and I bet they put a little bit more tape on her, so she'll go a little bit quicker.
Daryl, I think they already have. I think they're up there slapping tape on a little early.
This is to get it down to 140, so it'll be cool for a little bit longer.
Mike Joy.
Todd Bodine sitting in the car as owner Butch Mock supervises the repairs. He got a little brush there with his brother. The hood's going to go back up, and you see they have a little bit of a flopping fender there. Todd, what happened there with you and your brother Jeff and Jimmy Spencer?
Well, Jeff was trying to get out of the way. I think he was real bad loose, and we went 3 wide going into trial, and evidently Jimmy didn't know it, and we just got together. You know, it's just one of those deals that happens.
Boy, nice save.
I can't believe I saved it.
Neither could we.
And neither what? About 40,000 people here today. Great.
You know what? I can't believe
this.
I can't believe he can talk about it. I'd still be trying to get my breath.
As we get set for start, 2 cars not coming back out. Halftime statistics coming up here. Lead changes, 1 biggie. As Jeff Gordon shot him down, final moment of the race. Biggest move, Sterling Marlin 9th to 2nd. And Earnhardt dominated until that final corner. From the blimp, coming down for the start. As they come to the line, Ward Burton and Rick Mast in that front row. Ricky Rudd right behind Rick Mast as they take green.
Dale Elliott making a move down to the inside.
Getting blocked by Jimmy Spencer. Place to run there.
Spencer saw him coming and said, maybe I can pick up that wrap. There's Chevrolets in the back battling.
Wasn't it Spencer that said us 4 drivers got to work together?
Yeah, right. Okay, look at those guys in the back of the field as all of a sudden Earnhardt begins to lead that pace through, and here they come.
4 abreast.
Unbelievable.
Wait a minute, guys. Is that going to work?
Oh, yeah, they'll sort it out.
Okay.
That's what you say.
Jeff Bodine in the middle. He's wondering.
Oh. If Bodine is loose, that is a handful. How do you keep the air on the spoiler in a deal like that?
Well, you just hang on. That's all you do. You just hang on.
He's still there. His brother now pulls it away from him.
Now, I don't like the way this looks. No, it sorted itself out.
Look how quickly Earnhardt has already come to the front.
Yeah.
Bottom of the racetrack and charging right up through Earnhardt into the lead. Gordon getting trapped back there with Bill Elliott just in front of him and Spencer flanking him on the outside.
You know, Dale Earnhardt is just phenomenal for getting through traffic. That is in a lap and a half, and he's out front. That's phenomenal.
Here's Mike.
Ken, we expected the 1 and 31 to drop back from the front row. Rick Mast in car 1 has already broken the 2 best motors he brought here, and Ward Burton told his team on the first lap of this race they've got the wrong rear end gear, so they're drifting toward the back.
But drifting toward the front, Gordon closes in on Bill Elliott in 3rd. Elliott's cleared away. He's closed up on Marlin in the number 4. The 94, Bill Elliott out of Dawsonville, Georgia. Back flying his own colors this year In the third spot, here comes Gordon after him.
I think they're going to have to change the format, Ken. This inverting the field ain't working.
Well, it makes it exciting for a lap.
It does for a lap, but we're right back where we were a little while ago.
You could cut it to 2 laps. I don't think this one's over. Look at Jeff Gordon closing in again, Ned.
Yeah, he made that magnificent move on Earnhardt to get the lead on the last lap. On the first 10 laps, he's thinking the same thing. Earnhardt's wondering the adjustments they made on his Chevrolet will keep that from happening again.
Now you're watching live the Busch Clash 17th annual. Out in front, the 7-time Winston Cup champion. Earnhardt is on the point. Sterling Marlin, defending Daytona 500-mile champion, right there with him, followed by 2-time winner of the Winston Cup. Here you see of the Daytona 500, Bill Elliott, and then you see Jeff Gordon, who won this race as a 22-year-old rookie.
See, the guy who's really trying to protect his position right now, of course Earnhardt is too, but Sterling Marlin, he saw what Jeff Gordon did on that other. He said, I need to be in second place. Don't want nobody to pass me. He was in third before. And he wants to sit right there in second place, see if he can do the same thing Gordon did.
See, Dale couldn't stay in traffic very long. That extra tape they put on that car, it would get too hot. It wouldn't run well. So he's got to get out front. And I'm not so sure that Sterling Marlin can do what Jeff Gordon did. Jeff's just got a real knack for this place, and he really can pull off some good moves.
193.3 miles an hour the last time around.
That's humping it right there.
Ricky Rudd back in the 5th spot. In 6th, Todd Bodine. Jimmy Spencer's deployed 7th. Rusty Wallace back at 8th.
Todd Bodine, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but he came in and got a late pit stop. He caught the field after they took the green, and he has really worked his way right back up there. He was dead last when they took the green.
He is working his way back up.
And if nothing else, he's going to cause some excitement. 5 to go. Oh, Nigel Marlin, that's what they're calling him now. He's hanging right in there in second place. I'm really impressed with the way Bill's run, though. He's run good in the first segment, and here he is right up in the middle of this thing with being half over.
Yeah, he's got to feel good about the way he's running, too, with a new team. Even though he knows that his brother Ernie builds some strong engines and he has confidence in the people, but like he said in the interview before the race, he has some new people there that haven't worked together, and you just really don't know until you get out there in competition.
Well, I think I know my first year as an owner driver, I had a great year. Ricky Rudd had a great year, first year owner driver. I think Bill Elliott will have a great year.
I agree.
Dale Earnhardt calls this a go-get-it race, and he's getting it right now.
Yeah, but you know, maybe you think maybe he'll learn something from that first one. Maybe being out front ain't the place to be, but maybe he also figured out I'm gonna be a little rougher in this second. I'm gonna be a little harder to pass.
Fading up very high. Looked like Jimmy Spencer getting very high in 3 and 4. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Dale Jarrett's on the pole for next Sunday's 500. He'll be in this race next year. 2 years ago, you beat Dale Earnhardt with 1 lap to go to win the Daytona 500. What does Sterling Marlin have to do to beat Dale today?
Well, I think he's got his work cut out. I don't think he's going to beat Dale. I think they're going to start shuffling around, and I think in his second segment, Dale's going to make it a lot tougher for them to get around him going down the back straight.
If one car goes, will everybody go?
I think they're going to start shuffling. I think the problem's going to come that Gordon's going to try to get up there. I think they want to pass Earnhardt, but they also all want to win, so that's going to cause a problem for them.
I think Kenny Schrader called it, Ken. He just said, this could get big.
Yeah, they're going to use those Batman fenders where they widen out on that thing. That number 3 up in front. Sterling Marlin still in second. Gordon peeking around the outside of the Bill Elliott number 94. Further back, here's Rusty Wallace in the 2 car as he fights his way up through the field, up to 7th.
If Gordon is going to be able to get up there and be a threat, he's got to start making a move pretty quickly.
Yeah, he does. He's got to get by Bill Elliott first. And like Dale said, when they get side by side back here racing for second and third, that's when Dale and somebody's going to get away from him.
He seems to have such a natural sense about how to draft. Everyone says no one drafts quite like Earnhardt, but this young man on that 24 has certainly rewritten part of that chapter.
I have been totally impressed with him from the first time he sat in a Winston Cup car here at Daytona. Particularly, he has a real knack for it.
Has a good race car to go along with it too.
Yeah, he's got a good crew. Ray, I'm parked by Ray, and I tell you, he's
Ray
a good.
Evernham?
Ray Evernham's a great crew chief, and he does a good job.
He looked a little high there going into turn 2, but there was no room there, so he hasn't been able to make a pass. Here's Todd Bodine making a pass.
Underneath Ricky Rudd.
What I think you'll see is you see that gap between Dale and those other cars change a little bit because everybody's trying to get back and get a run is what they're trying to do.
Wallace in the 2 car.
White flag will come out this time. One more lap to go.
Here's the front 4. This is where it's going to be decided for $45,000.
See how Sterling falls back, maybe a couple of 3-car lengths. Now he'll try to pick all the momentum up he can coming off of turn 2. They let Dale get out there just a little bit to get a little run at him.
Marlin closing in again in the car number 4. Earnhardt in front.
Let me see. No, they're not going to make it. It's a done deal.
You think it's a done deal?
It's a done deal.
Here comes Elliott.
Waited too long. Waited too long. Got too far back. Had the right idea. Just he waited too long.
You used to, many years ago, before the restrictor plate days, you did it coming off of turn 4, and then it kept moving further back around the racetrack. And now I guess you got to do it, what, at the start-finish line when you get the white flag?
Down for the checkers. One more shot. Short. Earnhardt does it for the 6th time. Wins the Busch Clash. A great start for the week. But can he end that problem on Sunday in the 500 and finally win it after 17 tries? Earnhardt has won the Busch Clash.
Well, Dale, the front was the place to be. Can you believe that you held off that horde for those last 5-6 laps?
The car got awful loose when I was drafting over there on the last leg there, and the first leg, and about busted my butt. Dale Jarrett did it today for us. Well, I don't know whether Walter's talking about good to us. He looks good up there, doesn't he?
Well, he was talking good about it.
His clip black. Told him I was going to wear it at the concert the other night. I told him I was going to wear the clip back shirt to Victor Lane. I did it.
Well, it's a little sweaty, but it's a lucky shirt for sure. What was the key to this race? You like to be in front, don't you?
Well, you do. You know, I tell you, we worked awful hard, and this kind of race, I think you need to be out front. The Monte Carlo, the new Chevy Monte Carlo, Goodrich Service Monte Carlo did a good job today. We was right there where we wanted to be, and the car would go there. I was worried about that. I was worried about him getting me loose that last lap, and then, you know, taking me out or something, you know.
Was it as easy to get to the front as it was to stay out front?
It was easier to get to the front than it was to stay out front. I was concerned with Marlin, and I didn't know what Elliott could do, and you know, these guys just did a great job with this car preparing, and I just had to drive it. I had to keep it in a straight line, not get sideways like I did that first leg.
Well, now, what happened there between you and Jeff Gordon on the yellow lap for the 10th lap?
When I got sideways over there, you know, I come back around, he got the flag, us full of them, so whew. Well, I mean, I was going over there, and you know, it was good that you know, that he could back off a little. Of course, he got around me down the back straightaway, but you know, it's a great day here for us. Though this Monte Carlo did great, and Richard and all the guys did super. It's just a hard work all winter long. Come down and win the first race out with this Monte Carlo. A great introduction to the Chevy, huh?
Congratulations, Dale.
All right.